Hey everyone, it's Kiki, and today I'm going to be answering Terichos' questions on the upcoming Chapter 4 of Poppy Playtime, or at least I'll be trying to. With just over a week left until we have the release of Poppy Playtime Chapter 4, Safe Haven, I wanted to delve a little bit deeper into the questions burning in everyone's mind. As well as answering the things Tericho and so many others want to know, I'll be putting my own questions and theories out there. And with that, let's start theorizing. Tericho's first big question is, who is Doughy? Doughy the Doughman was accidentally leaked by Mob Entertainment on the lead up to Chapter 4. Honestly, I don't have a good answer for this one. Doughy hasn't really been spoken about too much, but my speculation on it is I think maybe Mob Games had the children designing toys for them. A lot of companies hire children testers for their new products and toys, especially if those things are aimed at children. Playtime Co. already had kids there, so what if they used the children's drawings and ideas of things that they would want to see in shops? What better way to sell more toys aimed at children than to have children of similar ages designing them? Doughy the Doughman could have been a toy that a child made the concept for, mushed together with something like Play-Doh or clay, and then the scientists took it further, designing a completely malleable, bigger body. That's really the best answer I can come up with so far, but hopefully we get more information as the Chapter 4 release date gets closer. Question 2. Is Huggy really still alive? Now, a year ago, when Chapter 3 was released, I would have said no. It's not that I don't love our big blue friend, it's that he terrifies me, and the thought of going up against him again makes me incredibly nervous. But I can't deny that the evidence has been piling up. We have evidence with Huggy's fur and blood being on the walls in Chapter 2, as if he climbed back into the vents, and we know he likes to travel that way. Especially with Kissy being attacked at the end of Chapter 3, Huggy is really the only one I think would stand a chance against Kissy's size and bite strength. We've taken out most of the other bigger bodies that have been on the higher sections of the factory. Catnap and Mummy Longlegs are both gone, and they're the only other ones that I think could manage up to her size-wise. Huggy has been a reoccurring character since the first chapter. He's appeared in every single chapter, whether as himself or a monstrous hallucination of him. Question 3. Who attacked Kissy? As I said before, I honestly think Huggy is our best bet here. I know there's a chance it could be Dog Day, as we never actually killed him and we never saw what happened to him. We just escaped, but realistically, I just don't think it's possible. With the state he was in, I don't think he would have had the chance to sneak up on Kissy, and I think to be able to take her on, someone would have had to sneak up on her or be an equal match to her size and stamina. I do think it's possible that the smiling critters could have gotten to her and overwhelmed her. It's already been made clear that they can overwhelm the larger toys due to the sheer amount of them, but the fact that the small smiling critters are afraid of light kind of makes this theory a bit harder to prove. We were in a lit up room, and not only that, Catnap is gone. I'm not saying the toys can't think for themselves and make their own plan, but it seems unlikely to me that they would travel so far away from their safe place in the playcare without someone telling them to do that. Tericho thinks that it is likely that it could have been 1006 himself that attacked Kissy. Although I don't completely disagree with it being possible, 1006 is more the brains rather than the brawn. Don't get me wrong, he's obviously strong as he easily picked up Catnap with one hand, but as Tericho points out, violence seems to be his last resort. His only motive for attacking Kissy in my mind would be to stop us from getting down into the depths and awakening Sawyer or releasing the more dangerous of the toys that lie below. But if it was 1006, why attack Kissy? It didn't stop us as we tried to come back up, but the vault door we opened sealed us in. It does make sense that 1006 would try to seal us in if his goal was to stop us from releasing the toys below, but I don't think he'd come out of hiding just to take on Kissy himself. Although we've only seen his hand, I don't think 1006 is in a physical state to attack a bigger body himself such as Kissy, otherwise he would have taken Mummy out as well. I don't think Yarnaby or Pianosaurus are likely candidates, and I don't think Boxy Boo is either, and all for the same reason. They were trapped in the depths below with Sawyer. I don't see Harley sending his test subjects to take Kissy out, as we were coming down to him anyway. If he wanted us there, I don't think he'd risk sending them up, leaving him unprotected. Huggy really is the most likely candidate to me. He would easily match Kissy both in size, strength and speed, and it would also come as a shock to her to see him, as she most likely knows what happened to him. Considering Poppy stated that we took Huggy out, if Poppy knows, I'm going to assume Kissy does too. He also wouldn't need to sneak up on Kissy either, as they were friends. She most likely trusted him and wouldn't have seen him as a threat until it was already too late. Question 4. Where is Boxy Boo? Boxy Boo hasn't been seen outside of Project Playtime and the Hour of Joy VHS tape that Poppy showed us. Boxy Boo was Harley's first ever successful bigger body experiment, but with Harley most likely being the main antagonist for Chapter 4, I think it's likely that we can assume Boxy will be around as well. It's likely that Boxy, just like Yarnaby, is going to fill the role of secondary antagonist, much like Mr. Light and PJ Pugapilla did. Boxy and Yarnaby are both shown as being loyal to Harley, favouring him over others as Harley conditioned them to follow his orders. The amount of Boxy symbolism in Chapter 4 is also a very clear indication that he will be sneaking around somewhere. Question 5. What is Poppy's plan? I'm with Terichos on this one. We need to stop cutting her off every time she tries to tell us something important. Mob games. I get the suspense building and I love it, I really do. But if this little doll gets cut off once more, I'm yeeting her off the closest catwalk. She just needs to sit down with us, even have a tea party if she has to, and give us the flippin' information she has. If I was actually in this situation, I would be banging my head against a wall so hard and screaming at this little doll to just spit it out already. Multiple times she's been cut off while trying to tell us something important before something happens and she can't tell us. Terichos, I'm really sorry, but the most important question you want answered, I can't answer for you. I'm really unsure whether she's on our side or not. There's so much evidence both before and against. I even still wonder if Ollie is who he says he is, or if it's just another mind game from 1006. Unfortunately, with this new chapter coming in, I also now wonder whether Harley has his hand in the metaphorical Ollie cookie jar as well. Which leads us into some of the questions that I hope are answered in Chapter 4. My first question is, who is the person in the Chapter 4 Yarnaby trailer? It can't be our player character, as you can hear Missy and Poppy in the distance. We were standing right next to Poppy, so it makes no sense for us to now be on our own or to hear her in the distance. I suppose it could be us if the lights went out, Poppy disappeared from beside us, maybe taken by Yarnaby or one of the others, and we were having auditory flashbacks of what just happened, but it doesn't explain why we were left unharmed. I originally thought that the person in the Yarnaby trailer was Harley Sawyer, but I don't think that's possible anymore either. We see that Harley has been put into a computer system, whether physically or not. In the trailers leading up to Chapter 4, we see that Harley's now attached to a machine, if not turned into a machine himself. So to see him walking up to where Yarnaby is first revealed just doesn't make sense, especially considering we see that the screens are on and we are being watched. Yarnaby may not have attacked us, but if he's anything like my cats, he likes to taunt his prey before devouring them. My final question for the day, is Ollie 1006 or Harley Sawyer? The question kind of jumped out at me and I wasn't even ready for it. For a lot of Chapter 3, I suspected that Ollie wasn't who he says he is. Especially after getting the VHS tape on 1006 and learning that he can mimic other voices. Sure, Ollie may be a kid stuck in a toy body, which is why his voice still makes him sound so young, but we've never seen him and never got confirmation from Poppy about who he is either. Originally, I thought this may be another mimic trick from 1006, leading us in the direction he wants us to go and manipulating Poppy and us in the process. But after the release of the Chapter 4 trailer and seeing Harley Sawyer, seeing how he's tapped into the security feed and has been watching us for a long time, I'm beginning to wonder if Harley has been the puppet master behind Ollie the whole time. Ollie has only ever communicated to us through a phone, a form of technology that Harley may be able to manipulate as we haven't seen the full extent of his abilities yet. Ollie has somehow managed to see everything we've been doing, giving us hints and access to areas that we didn't know how to get to before. Originally, I theorised that Ollie would have had to be in some kind of security room, not only to access the cameras and see what we're doing and where we are, but also to activate doors and send us keys that we don't have. If Harley truly is the one behind Ollie, it makes sense why he would want to help us get down to the depths. Getting us down there may mean letting him out. If Ollie had access to the security feed, I can only imagine that Harley would know about it, being that Harley himself seems to be the security system. I don't have much evidence to support it outside of pure speculation, but it's an interesting thought I had while coming up with other theories, and I think it's a good mindset to have while going into Chapter 4. With only 9 days until Chapter 4 releases, I wanted to get this out sooner rather than later. I'm sorry I haven't been posting a lot lately. Christmas got really hectic and there's a lot going on. But I'm hoping to bring out one more theory before Chapter 4 releases, and then have videos of Chapter 4 gameplay. Hopefully Chapter 4 will answer a lot of these questions that we have, but I have no doubt that it'll bring some new ones into light. Make sure to check out Terichos' channel that I'll have linked in the description, and I'll try to put it somewhere on the screen for you to click on and go and check out his channel. He gives me a lot of these ideas, it gives me a lot to react to, and I find it a lot easier to bounce ideas off of people. So him letting me react and do these things with his videos, I really appreciate it. But please go and check him out. Go and give him a like. I'll link the video that I answered these questions from in the description below. But definitely go and check out his channel and give him a huge thank you. Thank you to everyone watching, and I will see you in Chapter 4. Bye.